Hello Zebraherd, welcome to Layton's Mystery Journey, Katrielle and the Millionaires Conspiracy Deluxe Edition. That might be the longest title for a game I've ever seen, but I'm really excited to try this out. This is a game in the Professor Layton series, which is a series of puzzle games. Not only have I never done a video on a game in this series, but I've never actually played a Professor Layton game before. If you don't know, if you're into the dark like me, it is supposed to be a puzzle type of game with some really cool stories. There's supposed to be solving mysteries, and there's amazing animation and beautiful artwork, so I'm really excited to get into the story and see what it's all about. I don't know if I'm gonna be playing the game in full, so definitely let me know your feedback if you wanna see more or not. But with that being said, let's get started with Katrielle and the Millionaires Conspiracy. Oh, it's a very misty morning.
Daddy? Where are you going? Daddy?
Aww. So I guess she's Professor Layton's daughter. I didn't know that. I know nothing about this, so.
Right then.
Oh, she's so happy. So is she living all on her own? I don't know how old she's supposed to be, but she doesn't seem all that old. She's making breakfast. Reading the newspaper. She seems to have a quiet life, I like that. So I'm not exactly sure where these games take place. Obviously, like somewhere in Europe.
Today's the day. My journey as a detective starts here.
Oh, cool. So she's just now starting being a detective. Layton's Mystery Journey, Katrielle and the Millionaires Conspiracy Deluxe Edition. It's still like the longest name ever. But yeah, this was a game that was, I think, originally for the 3DS or iPhones or something. I can't exactly remember, but it's being remastered. It's on the Switch now. And it looks amazing. I love these cutscenes, it's so pretty. Like, I feel like I'm playing a TV show or something. Oh, there's a little kitty. Oh, I love this. So yeah, I think there's gonna be like a big variety of puzzles and stuff. So we'll try all those out and see how well they go. And if you guys enjoy this, we'll definitely play through it, and maybe we can play some of the other Professor Layton games at some point. Layton Detective Agency, ooh. I love the music.
Dear Lucy, I've opened a detective agency on one of London's most happening streets. Any mystery solved, that's the Layton Detective Agency's motto. I can't wait to find out what mysteries are waiting for me. You must come and visit me if you have the time. Yours faithfully, Katrielle.
So Katrielle actually started this place. Interesting, this wasn't Layton's thing. Prologue, Lady and a Tramp. Okay. I hope there's actually doggies. Or maybe not, I don't know. I don't know if it's a reference to the Lady and Tramp movie.
Phew. There, all done.
Hey, you there!
Ah! He talks like I do. Well, he doesn't sound like me, but you know what I mean.
Who said that? Was it you?
Can you really solve any mystery?
Oh, talking dog.
You're not surprised?
It's only talking.
Only talking? Is it true? Huh? I want some proof. Can you really solve any mystery? Seeing you hang that sign gives me an idea. Let's see you try your paw at this puzzle.
Ooh, we'll just jump into a puzzle right away then. Okay, puzzle, care for a cake. This puzzle is worth 20 picarats, total score 0. What's a picarat? Cake for a cake? The letter K has fallen down from the sign above the cake shop. Use the 3 triangles to make the letter K inside the box. Place the hand over a triangle using the left stick. Okay. Then pick up the triangle by holding down A. Once you've grabbed it, you can move it around with the left stick or rotate it with L and R. Release A to place the triangle in position. When the K is formed, the success message will be displayed automatically. Place the triangles carefully. Oh, give me all the information right over here. Okay. So if I had to guess, I'd imagine we could sorta kinda do this and the negative space would make a K? Sorta kinda, but wait, hold on. Like this, sort of. I might have to wrap my head around this a little bit. Definitely some poking around is necessary. But I'm almost there already, I feel. You see what I mean? It's sort of like right here, it makes a K, but that's not good enough. Maybe I'm doing this backwards. No, I think I'm right. I think that maybe just the placement's a little off. I might have to poke around with this. And that's where it's like this series will definitely be interesting. Oh, maybe like this. But maybe I'm not supposed to be working with the negative space. You can see that makes a K, but I don't know if that's the way they mean. Isn't that weird? I can go to the menu. There's also hints, a memo. I don't wanna give up and get a hint right away. Like maybe that's not how they want it. And if it isn't, then how do we wanna do it? Trying to think about this here. It's a little wonky, cause, yeah, like that's sort of the weird thing is that, because I thought I did it, make the letter K inside the box, but I think that I'm doing it the wrong way. I'm supposed to make it so that the wood spells out K, not the negative space within it. It might be because they're sitting on the outside of it. Aha, there it is. Okay, so it was just like, I just had to do it a different way.
Any mystery or any puzzle solved.
Yeah, so we earned 20 picarats for that. You did it, the sign is fixed and the shop is open again. Care for a cake, anyone? All right, well maybe we'll get some free cakes. We didn't even need to use the hints. What are picarats? Picarats are both a commodity you earn by completing puzzles and a measure of puzzle difficulty. The higher a puzzle's picarat value is, the harder that puzzle will be. Each time you get a puzzle wrong, the available picarats diminish, so think carefully before you answer. With that one, there actually was no way to like submit the answer. The special end of game save includes some bonuses, among which you'll find a top secret file. The more picarats you've amassed while playing the game, the more earth-shattering the revelations you'll find inside it. Ooh, juicy. Puzzle 001, Care for a Cake, has been added to the puzzle index. Cool.
All right, you seem to be up to scratch.
Thank you. Why don't you step inside?
Looks like we found ourselves a new friend.
So, what can I do for you?
Look at me. It's obvious.
What?
I'm a talking dog.
Yes, I can see that, and...
And? All right then, and I have total amnesia.
Aw.
A dog with amnesia?
If I could just remember my parents, it might make more sense. I feel like I'm me, but not really me. I don't even know if I'm pedigree.
Is that all?
No, that's not all. I want you to find out who I really am.
I don't know.
Oh, come on. I'm a talking dog.
Got anything else?
I mean, I think that'd be pretty interesting
A
to find out.
diabolical box that kills you? A letter from the future? A relic from an ancient civilization. Nothing like that?
Nothing.
Well, this is my first inquiry. Perhaps it's fate. All right then. Any clues?
Well, not everyone can hear me talking.
Oh,
Some
really?
can, some can't. It's very rare to find someone who can, actually.
I don't experience that. Some people say I talk too much.
It just spoke. Ooh.
And here's another rare someone who can hear you talk.
Who's this?
Apparently, he's my assistant. I told him I don't need help, but he won't listen.
Everly dog it. No one wants that.
What's all this about, Miss Layton?
This talking dog wants me to solve the mystery of who he is and where he comes from. So, we've had our first inquiry.
Incredible, miss. Such a fascinating case from day one. Your reputation obviously precedes you.
So, I don't believe you told me your name.
Ernest. Ernest Greaves, miss.
She meant the dog.
That's just what he's like.
I see.
Have I said something wrong?
Anyway.
I can't even remember my own name.
Well, do you remember anything else at all?
I've got a vague memory of a tower or something falling down, and then lightning flashing across the sky.
That's it.
Goodness, golly, not much to go on, is it?
Who asked you?
It certainly isn't. I've no other cases at the moment, so why not? I'll do what I can.
You will? Well, that's great!
Oh, but I must insist on my fee, even for man's best friend.
Oh, I'm not poor.
Well, here's the paperwork then. Now, you'll need a name. How about Sherl?
Sherl?
You said you can't remember your name. So, I've thought of one for you, with inspiration from the famous Sherlock Holmes. It really suits you.
Oh, that's splendid, sir. Being named after such a prestigious figure, I mean.
Like I said, who asked you anyway?
Look. Here. Sherl O.C. Combs. Sherl is a great name.
For a girl?
Don't yap, Sherl.
Stop calling me that.
Surely there's no need to get angry.
Cat, are you in?
Ah. Inspector Hastings.
Oh, save your progress so far? Sure. So we got a new character, Inspector Hastings. So yeah, things seems to be going so well so far. Her first day at the job, she has a new thing, a new job, or new task, I guess. Okay, so it looks like there's not everything is voice acted. Inspector Hastings, whatever is the matter? You look positively beside yourself. No, that's just my face. No, just kidding. You won't believe what's happened. Who is this loudmouth? Also, don't expect me to be able to do their voices. I can't do accents very well, I'm sorry. Who is this loudmouth, long-nosed jerk? Or Nurk? What's a Nurk? He's got more collar than me. This is Inspector Hastings, Sherl, from Scotland Yard. Despite appearances, he's actually responsible for ensuring London's safety. What's that mutt doing here? Don't tell me you've gone and brought yourself a pet cat. A pet? A pet? Do I look like a pet? Don't answer that. It looks as though Inspector Hastings can't understand what you're saying, Sherl. Of course he can't. Like I said, it's an exclusive club. Most people just hear woofs and barks. You have to believe. That's the difference. And yet, in a straw poll of those present here, 2 out of the 3 are in the club. Very exclusive. I can't help it if Super Snitch here isn't one of the enlightened ones. What are you muttering about, Cat? Sorry, Inspector, to answer your question, no, Sherl here isn't a pet. Rather, he's my very first client, the first to have signed on the dotted line and enlist my services. Well, strictly speaking, miss, he can't sign anything, of course, he's digitally impaired. I mean, he has digits, he just doesn't, I guess technically, yeah. An excellent observation, Ernest. Let me rephrase that then. The first to have put his paw print on my paperwork. Eh? Is this some kind of wind up? Well, anyway, we haven't got time to be discussing pets. I've got a case I need you on, Cat, and I need you on it right now. How intriguing. Why the urgency? And why do you need me in particular, Inspector? Because we all know you're the best. You've proved that when you helped me out in the past. So I don't know if she's had her own games in the past or if this was her first game, I'm not really sure. With the little gray cells on the case, we'll have it solved in no time. I hope, well, probably. His confidence in you is inspiring, Kat. Don't you worry, Inspector, there's not a case in the world that Miss Layton couldn't crack. Any mystery solved, that's the Layton Detective Agency motto, you know. Well, let's hope you can put your money where your mouth is, because we need all the help we can get on this one. Perhaps it's time that you told us what has actually happened, Inspector? Well, it's hard to believe, to be honest. I mean, you'd never expect something like that to get nicked. Something's been stolen, yeah. Something's been stolen, a burglary case, is it? Of sorts, yeah, but not your average run-of-the-mill burglary. This affects everyone in London, in the old Britain, so they're in London, okay. Gosh, really? Whatever could be so important? I think you're better just come to the scene, then I'll explain everything. That sounds like a very good idea. Lead the way. Hello, isn't there a little matter we're forgetting here? What about figuring out my true identity? Oh yes, well the trouble is, this new case just sounds a lot more interesting. Interesting? You decide which cases to investigate based on how interesting they are, do you? Exactly, I'm glad you understand. Well, pardon me for being a talking dog. I really must try harder to be more interesting. Oh now, Shirley, don't be like that. Your case is important to us, but we're experiencing a high volume of inquiries at present, and you've had one new inquiry, one. Never mind, clearly the inspector here has knickers in a twist about something. Let him jump the queue if he has to. Good, that's settled done. Now let's get to the scene and start investigating. Where are we going, Inspector? Just down the road as it happens to Big Ben. Oh cool, Big Ben? The Elizabeth Tower, I presume? Not Burly Benjamin who lives a few doors down, surely? Yeah. All right, well, case one, the hand that feeds. So I guess we'll get the first case done in today's episode. Depends on how long that takes, I'm really not sure. But I'm having a lot of fun with the game so far. It's really cool. So what did they steal exactly? No way, they stole the hour hand. But only on one side? You can see on the other side it was fine. Good gracious, the hour hand, it's missing. Yep, I'm afraid so. It was reported to us this morning. So that's what this is all about? One of the hands from the clock tower has been stolen? Unbelievable, isn't it? We've got to catch the hooligan who did it and get the hand back quick smart. But there are 4 clock faces on the Elizabeth Tower, aren't there? Even if this one hour hand is missing, the other 3 faces will still show the correct time, surely? That's right, I mean, certainly, it may be a little inconvenient perhaps, but to describe this as affecting all of Britain, isn't that rather an exaggeration? Yeah, my better half said the same thing, but it's much worse than a bit of inconvenience not knowing the right time. The problem is, we're due to do a visit tomorrow from Ambassador Fudafafa. I hope Fudafafa? I don't know, sorry. Oh yes, I remember reading about it in the Times. It's the anniversary of the Treaty of Rome, isn't it? But what does that have to do with the Elizabeth Tower? The ambassador is going to be received at a venue in sight of the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben. And as a symbol of the timeless friendship and cooperation between our 2 lands, they planned on giving him a present. Maybe they were gonna give him the hour hand. A pendant modeled on the hands of Big Ben. Oh dear. So maybe somebody needed a reference. They need to get a little close up. Maybe this is all a big misunderstanding. Yeah, so you can only imagine the conversation's gotta turn to the subject of the clock tower at some point, and it's not gonna look too clever if the very hands the pendant is modeled on have been half-inched by some low-life scoundrel the Met can't catch. Obviously it'll be plastered all over the foreign press as well. It's a bloomin' disgrace is what it is. I see, so that's why you're intent on tracking down the culprit and recovering the missing hand before tomorrow's engagement. Exactly, really need your help on this one, Kat. Of course, I'll do everything I can. Our national pride is at stake here, as you say. Well, that's a relief. I was worried you'd turn me down. Obviously, Scotland Yard will be carrying on with its own investigations at the same time. It's all hands on deck. I've got officers scouring the area around the tower, so you can ask them if you got any leads. Leave it to me, Inspector. We'll get started at once. Gosh, miss, it's so rousing when you take the bull by the horns like this. Oh no, wait a minute. What now? Well, as this is our first case in the establishment of the Layton Detective Agency, I'd better show you the ropes. Let me explain how I like to carry out my investigations. Oh yes, please do, Miss Layton. In investigation mode, the cursor on the screen changes to be a magnifying glass. Use the left stick to move the magnifying glass around and examine every inch of the scene. Sometimes when you move the magnifying glass over a particular point, it will turn orange. When you identify a point of interest like that, press A to find out what's there. You can also use the directional buttons to quickly snap the magnifying glass between people and other areas of interest. You need to master both controls. Okay. So the left stick is to move the magnifying glass around, or the directional buttons to choose an area of interest rapidly. All right, I think I've got the hang of that. Got the hang of licking our boots? Yep. Sorry, I mean, you're fast learner, Pinstripes. So let's get straight to business and start investigating. Let's start with the top of that lamppost, shall we? Use the left stick. Okay, so up here, you can look at this lamppost. You can see our current location is Parliament Square Garden, and we'll investigate it. We get a coin. We found a hint coin, interesting. Golly, a little coin drop down, look. Yes, that's a hint coin. They can buy you hints when you're solving puzzles. Of course, like real money, once you spend them, they're gone, so only use them when you really need to. You'll find them hidden in all sorts of places, so leave no stone unturned. I see, so hint coins are shy little creatures, are they? Come on, Cal, what are you dawdling there for, eh? The case, woman, the case! Now, Inspector, less haste, more speed. Investigations need to be carried out carefully, and above all, you must record everything at each step. Teaching Grandma to suck eggs, aren't you? I mean, that's a little rude to say. Let's just go over the most important items in my bag. Select the bag icon in the bottom left corner of the screen to open up the bag menu, or you can just press X. Kat's journal contains all of my notes about the investigation so far. Very useful for recapping. To archive the case history, to save from the menu. That will make a record of the story so far. This is the puzzle index. Any puzzles we encounter are recorded in here so you can tackle the ones you've already completed again if the mood takes you. Oh, that's cool. And there's a brand new puzzle in daily puzzles every single day. Wow, okay. So maybe we'll do the daily puzzle today. If you also delve into my wardrobe from time to time, I can pop into some different outfits. Oh, cool, so there's a lot of stuff going on. Blimey, you got enough in that bag of yours, Kat? Ever heard of tidying? It's this crazy idea where you actually get rid of the stuff you don't need. Oh no, it's perfectly fine as it is. The trick with any handbag is to know where to find everything and what to use when. It's all about effectiveness. Good, that's covered the fundamentals of the investigation process. Now it's time to put the theory into practice and investigate the clock tower. The clocks are awfully high off the ground though, aren't they? Then you must zoom in, Ernest. Zoom in, miss. How do you do that? Sometimes you may notice the magnifying glass color changing to blue instead of orange when you're investigating. That indicates a place where you can zoom in and take a closer look. All you have to do is press A and everything will appear larger. Very natty. Well, it's extremely important to be thorough when you're investigating, you see. So, why don't you zoom in now and take a closer look at the clock face? Okay, should we take a look at anything else first? Any kind of secrets? Not looking like it. I can look at other lamps, but it doesn't do anything, as you can see. So we'll look, actually, what is this about? Ah, it's rather pleasant here with all the greenery, don't you think? Okay, so he'll comment on the tree. And also over this way, the Elizabeth Tower is actually joined onto the side, or joined onto the Palace of Westminster. I see, I don't know where I read the word side. Anyways, don't see anything else, so let's go ahead and zoom in on the clock tower. And now we can inspect a couple of other things, at least one more thing, and that is the missing hour hand. It's true, the short hand really is missing. But of course the other clock faces all have both hands. Yeah, it's only the one on the side that the shorthand's been taken, the other three are unaffected. Oh, so it's just one shorthand that we're looking for? Even a shorthand from one of these clocks in the Big Ben clock tower would be a very big sizable object. Not something that would disappear easily. Obviously we've searched all around the clock face as well as the base of the tower, but that hand just disappeared into thin air. This is turning into a very interesting case indeed. A quarter of London doesn't know what time it is and you call it interesting. All right, now that we know what we're dealing with, it's time we started investigating. We should start by stepping back and looking at the bigger picture again. So select zoom out or just press B. We'll zoom out. Where do we start, Miss Layton? Well, time is of the essence. We have to solve this before Ambassador Fodafafa arrives tomorrow. Let's begin by asking Inspector Hastings' team what they've learned so far. That's right, why do the work yourself when you can get someone else to do it for you? Nonsense, Sherl. We can't afford to duplicate effort, that's all. Of course. Come along then, you two. No time to lose. Coming, miss. Huh, okay, so let's first talk to you then. Inspector Hastings, can you summarize what you found so far? Not a fat lot, really. There was a bobby on the beat here last night who confirmed nothing was amiss at 11:50. It wasn't until 6 in the morning that we got a report from a stunned local who happened to glance at the clock. We came to confirm the report straight away and found it to be true. The hour hand was well and truly gone. So at 11:50 last night, the clock was fine, but by 6 this morning, the hand was missing. So we're looking at a window of about 6 hours in which the crime was committed. That's about the size of it, yep. And wasn't there anybody else who looked at the clock tower in that 6-hour window? We're looking into that now. I've got officers asking locals if they saw anything. There must be someone who looked at the clock in all that time. No doubt if we went door to door, we could find some witnesses, but we just don't have that kind of time. So we just have to manage with what we know already, you mean? Pretty much, and those hands are massive. It would have taken someone a fair old while to make off with it, if that's for sure. 6 hours. Oh, 6-hour window. Fit the clue into the right place. So this one goes here. Yep, you found a clue, 6-hour window. Pretty basic clue, but it might piece together to be something more important. Case files. As your investigation progresses, you'll unearth certain key pieces of information that form clues. Each case has 6 clues to uncover, and once you've found all 6, you'll be able to solve the case. Clues may form statements that appear to have nothing to do with anything. Can you use your sleuthing skills to piece it all together? If you want to look at your clues you've gathered so far, open Katrielle's bag and look at the current case file. When you need to refresh your memory about a case, the case file is the place to look. So this is a lot more involved of a game than I was expecting. I thought we were just going place to solve puzzles. So as you can see, 6-hour window. According to Inspector Hastings, the clock hand must have been stolen in a roughly 6-hour window between 11:50 p.m. last night and 6 a.m. this morning. Select any clue, yeah, okay. So let's continue. Case files have been added to Kat's bag. It's so exciting to be investigating a case at last. What do we do first, miss? We'll start by interviewing members of the public, Ernest. Gosh, it sounds like a proper detective work. Let's find out if anyone around here has noticed what's wrong with the clock tower and if they might have useful information for us. There are rather a lot of passers-by here, aren't there? How do we know who to ask? The more people we talk to, the better, so let's get started. When there's more than one place to investigate next, you'll see multiple magnifying glass icons displayed on the top right of the screen in investigation mode. Once you've examined one of those places, it will be marked with a tick icon. So keep an eye on the magnifying glass icons and tick icons at the top right of the screen as you're hunting for clues. Cool. So as you can see, we can look around a little bit more. And I can like see these things. It looks like there's more notes on them. Another fine day, perfect for taking the dog for a walk. if not for this case. A good looking tree, nice trunk, could be useful for something. So we can actually get multiple things, like tips out of things too, which is pretty cool. So I definitely wanna take another look at the Big Ben for right now, where we can take another look at it, and it's rather sad seeing the grand old clock with a missing hand, isn't it? Where could such a large object have disappeared to, I wonder? Like, what if we click on it again though? No, it just says the same thing. That's sort of what I need to check on, so that I understand, like, you know, what I can click on multiple times, what I can't. Doesn't look like there's anything else. Okay, so we're in the clear there. It's magnificent, isn't it? Even from afar, the building's grandeur is plain to see. I bet there's been some serious yapping inside of that building. It definitely has been. Anything else going on? I mean, it'll make a noise if there's anything of interest, I suppose. So there's something over here then. Oh yeah, right here. Aha, you found the hint coin. Nothing more though, okay. So I can't talk to you or you or you, so only the people who are sort of like 3D instead of like the 2D people in the background. Let's talk to Hastings again. The end of the clock disappeared in a 6-hour window sometime between 11:50 last night and 6 this morning. We're still on the hunt for more witnesses. You keep up your investigations as well, Kat. So nothing new from him. We can talk to this guy. Looks like a photographer. Douglas Dirt. Top of the morning to you. Got a minute to answer a few questions? Oh, all right, are you a reporter? I'm investigating the extraordinary disappearance of the little hand of Big Ben, you see. So did either of you happen to see anything around these parts last night? Such as, for instance, a person or persons transporting a large hand-like object? Gosh, he gets straight to the point, doesn't he? He's asking the very questions I was about to ask him. Oh, where's my manners, eh? Sorry, I'm Douglas Dirt. Everyone calls me Doug. I'm a reporter with the London Times, see? Are you readers at all? Oh, I'll say, personally, I think the London Times is the best paper in the city. You're too kind, lad. Although I do make it my mission to dig up the most dirtiest of dirt and uncover the most unsavory of sooths. And at present, as I mentioned aforementionedly, I am investigating the disappearance of Big Ben's hand. As it happens, we're investigating the same thing. Perhaps you might share anything you've learned? Sorry, investigating you say? Well, there's a turn up for the books. You don't look like detectives, I must say. If I had to guess, I'd have pegged you as a couple of out walking your lovely dog on this delightful morning. Well, I am a detective. Haven't you ever heard of the Layton Detective Agency? Layton? I know the famous Professor Layton, of course, but I didn't realize he had an agency or people in his employ. Always nice to have signed up with a couple unknown. Really inspires confidence. Oh, what a blow, mind you. I didn't really expect any different. Don't worry, Miss Layton, you'll be famous soon enough. I'm quite certain of that. Anyway, as it happens, I was at the office all evening yesterday penning my latest article. I did not observe Big Ben at all. I'm afraid to say that my own investigation is just getting underway. I have nothing to impart at present time. I see, well, thank you anyway. I wish you all the very best with your ongoing investigation activities, of course. Likewise, sir, good luck with yours. And hiccup for iconic Big Ben. What? Petty crime or an international conspiracy. Alarm bells ring across Britain. Okay, so that's like the headline. Stories like these write themselves, eh? Got me thinks it's gonna be a smasher. It certainly is. If we don't solve this before the story breaks, there'll be all kinds of repercussions. You're right, we must press on with our investigation. So he didn't give me too much info, but what about this guy? He seems to be thinking about something. Hey, well, how long it's been, would you say? How long? I'm sorry, do we know each other? I'm fairly sure I've never met you before, sir. I have no idea how to pronounce his name. Stashin Scarfin? Oh, I get it, because he has a stash and a scarf. Know each other in a way, yes, in a way, no. I think his scarf's too tight. People are like leaves washed along the river. Sometimes meeting, sometimes parting. You've rather lost me, I'm afraid. I don't suppose you've noticed anything about the Elizabeth Tower last night, did you? I was already dreaming sweetly by nightfall yesterday. You're an early sleeper, are you? So you wouldn't have seen anything. Is that all you wanted? I tell you what, how about a little puzzle to occupy the mind? I say, a puzzle? The world is full of puzzles, Ernest. Or Ernest, yeah. I keep on thinking she means the word Ernest, not his name, Ernest. Sometimes during the course of investigation, people do come out with puzzles for you to solve. It's all part of the process. So let's see what sort of puzzle we're dealing with here. I would love to, so puzzle number 2. Been a while since puzzle number 1. Puzzle 2, the Hands of Time. 35 pick rats, so it will be difficult, or at least more difficult than last time. The clock is currently showing the time as 3:30 p.m. It would be nice if the hands of the clock would show midnight. What would be the minimum number of places you would need to touch on the clock to show the desired time? Okay, select the answer frame to display the input screen for entering letters and numbers. After confirming, you'll see what you have written to appear in the answer frame. To change your answer, simply select the frame again. So I can't like interact with this at all. So I'm a little confused. What would be the minimum number of places you need to touch on the clock to show the desired time? What do you mean by places you need to touch? Like, what do you, because really, 1, if you touched the hour hand and brought it back, it would also bring the big hand back. So the answer would be 1. Same thing with the opposite. If you were to drag the small hand back or forward, the larger hand would go, but it would also take much longer. So like, 1. Unless I'm misunderstanding the question. Do I have to do 0 on? Like, unless it's trying to tell me like every movement is a click. So if it's at 3:30 and I would want to move it to midnight, I would have to, that would be a lot, right? If I can only move it like once every hour and then also once every minute, that would be like 1, see it's at 3, so it'd be 2, which is 1, 1, 2, and then 12. So that would be 3 movements and then 30, so 33. But let's see this. Would this, is that right?
This is an interesting one.
No.
What's the matter with me today?
So no, see that's sort of the thing I'm a little confused about. Isn't the actual question, well, not the actual answer, finding the answer, but the question itself is weirdly worded to me. Bad luck, how to get the clock to show midnight? Can you think of a way? View hints, let's see what hints we have. We have 12 hint coins, and we might as well try this. There's no need to touch the hands of the clock. Oh, okay, it's a word play. You don't need to touch it at all because it'll eventually just become midnight. Okay, I get it now. I'm not gonna be good at this game. I'm going to have fun, but I'm not gonna be very good at it.
This should do it, I think.
Puzzle solved.
Or any puzzle solved.
All right, so definitely we're gonna need some outside of the box thinking for some of this. You did it, there was no need to touch the clock at all. All you need to do is wait for midnight to come. I guess I sort of assumed, and that's something you shouldn't do with puzzles, I assumed that the situation was that you wanted it to be midnight right now. Anyways, puzzle 002, the Hands of Time, has been added to the puzzle index. Very impressive. Let's hope you tackle all of the puzzles you're going to face so convincingly. All right. We've investigated all we can around here. I suggest we head closer to the tower. To the scene of the crime at last. I say, this is rather exciting. I need to explain to you how we move around during an investigation, don't I? At the bottom right of the screen in investigation mode, you'll see a shoe button. Pressing that or Y switches from investigation mode to relocation mode. The orange flashing markers show points on the map where we can move to. Pick a location you'd like us to visit and press A over it to display some information about the place in question. Then simply press A a second time or press move to go ahead and move to that location. An exclamation mark at a particular place indicates that you should head there next for the good of the investigation. It looks like we can get inside the Elizabeth Tower from that entrance there. So let's head over there and see what we can find out. Okay, sounds good. Oh, I love the little pixel version of Katrielle, that's cute. So it seems as though there is still a lot more to do in this case, so I think that we'll move on next episode and totally complete case 1, but for right now, I had a lot of fun with this first episode. Definitely let me know what you think of the game and if you'd like to see more, but for right now, that is gonna wrap it up for today's episode of Layton's Mystery Journey, Katrielle and the Millionaires Conspiracy Deluxe Edition. Before you go, be sure to comment Zebra Layton so now you've watched the end of you're a Zebra-tastic viewer. Also, subscribe to join the Zebra Herd. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.